gathered together here are plants from all over the world. All manner of rarities and special plants. Over here's a Melaleuca. It's from Australia. I've certainly never seen it before. And just across the path is a plant you'd have to go to the foothills of Kashmir to find. It's Cupressus kashmirianus with his most graceful, drooping branches. What a vital resource this is. It's 150 years since the Temperate House at Kew first opened its doors, and now it faces major reconstruction. The cracks are starting to show, not only jeopardising the fabric of the place itself, but perhaps even more critically, the collection of 1,500 different species that it houses. It falls to Temperate House manager David Cook to look after the collection while the work is going on.
All this is coming out, all the paths are coming out, the soil's coming out. I mean, all the venting, all the glass, a lot of the steel work, there's all going to be renewed. And
the importance of these plants is what?
Oh, beyond measure, because it's a unique collection of plants.
Huge resource.
A huge resource.
In total, there are 4,000 plants to be moved from the Temperate House during its restoration. But there are 1 or 2 monumental specimens that are going to have to stay exactly where they are.
This is Livistona chinensis. What a fantastic palm. I'm afraid we're going to leave this one in place, put a cover over it just to protect it. George V planted this. It's hugely important. You know, it's my job and the team's job to look after it for the future.
While the George V palm isn't going anywhere, plenty of bigger specimens are on the move. Gardeners are becoming really familiar with these tree ferns now, but
they are.
Can't you just grow them from sections of the trunk?
You can. I mean, traditionally, you just cut them off and just sink them into the ground.
Yeah.
But here, if I can lead you in carefully,
right.
It's a bit of an adventure.
To the woods.
Okay? Into the woods, yeah. What we're trying to do here, these are air pots, and we've just put a piece of hessian around there, filled with our compost, and this is all roots on the outside. They'll root into the compost, and then we'll get a saw and cut off right at the base, and then we've still got some height. This is quite an easy way of propagation. But
it's beautiful, though, because it keeps the whole architecture of the trunk, doesn't it? You don't lose it.
The most important thing is this top bit here needs to be kept moist all the time.
What a clever way to actually move it. It's brilliant. Plants like this rhododendron are being moved, but to ensure their survival, they're also being propagated. Scott Taylor's going to explain more.
It's a beautiful species, this one.
You can't really take cuttings either, can you, from rhodies?
They're difficult to take from cuttings, so typically we air layer them.
Yeah.
And that gives us roots, and we can get a second plant from them.
So is that the sort of thing you're looking for? Something with a bit of bare stem and plenty of green on the top?
See, that's a perfect little example there.
Go on then, show us how it's done.
This is how you would do it.
You damage that outside layer and you expose the cambium layer.
You've got to expose the cambium because that's where your roots are going to come from.
Right,
yeah.
And that's what we want.
That is what we want.
So do you treat it with anything?
We use a little bit of hormone rooting powder.
Yeah.
I know some people are a bit against it, but it does tend to speed it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Use a little bit of moss here. It has to be nice and moist because obviously the moisture is going to bring your roots out.
Right.
So we take that and then wrap it around this stem, covering that cut.
And just make a sort of little nest of it.
That's right. If you can
I tie this on?
You certainly can.
So it's just to make sure that the moisture inside that plastic
Exactly, so
is
that
retained.
the moss doesn't dry out because they need that moisture to keep the roots growing.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing this in the renovated Temperate House at Kew. It could take as long as 6 years to complete this massive restoration, but it's worth it to secure the future of this magnificent collection.